Hello, everybody. This is Debo with Debo's Movie Reviews here, and I'm going to review Young Guns, starring Emilio Estevez as Billy the Kid, Lou Diamond Phillips as Chavez, Kiefer Sutherland as Josiah Doc Scurlock, KJ Zamasco as Charlie Baldry, Dermot Mulroney as Dirty Steve, along with Terrence Stamp as John Tunstall, Jack Palance as Murphy, along with Alice Carter as Yin Sun, Terry O'Quinn as Alex McSween, Charlie Sheen as Dick Brewer, and, of course, last but not least, Patrick Wayne as Pat Garrett. Now I gotta say, as much as I was a fan of John Wayne, Patrick Wayne just never got out of his dad's shadow. I mean, to where in this one, Pat Garrett only had like a bit part, which was a little bit more historically accurate to the real Bill of the Kid, was only prior association. Though plausible they were friends, but they knew either way they knew each other prior to Garrett being a lawman, which is a glaring plot hole in this one, in the first one, to where there's a scene where Garrett warns the kid about and the regulators about the McSween attack, which is pretty much like the end of the movie, right at the end of the movie, in that final showdown, which kind of leads, which this one is more about the Lincoln County War than the second one was, as to where it started with Billy being taken in by Tunstall, becoming a regulator from his farm, which of course in that days was the start of the Lincoln County War, was the Murphy Dolan factions and the Tunstall McSween factions, which of course played pivotal roles. And of course with Billy the Kid ride with Tunstall. And I always had like a good backstory of how Tunstall tried to keep Billy straight, but when Murphy's boys killed Tunstall, that's when the regulators started mounting up. And yeah, it was Chase. For those that don't know it was Charlie Baldry's character, aka Casey Siemaszko, who played Charlie Baldry in the beginning of that rap song, "Regulated by Warren G and Nate Dogg." You know, the regulators. Because yeah, if you hear that, you automatically gotta say "mount up." And a lot of excellent, well written cast. I mean, I mean, though it was not not an accurate portrayal, I gotta say, Terrence Stamp knocked it out of the park as Tunstall, because the movies he's portrayed as an older guy, but the real one was 24 when he got killed, and then of course, but a lot of parts they got right, like the Sheriff Brady being a crooked son bitch, and outlaws like Buckshot George. I mean, Buckshot Roberts, because Buckshot George goes to the second one, and so more on that. Just chill to the next episode. But overall, like I say, Young Guns 1 is definitely memorable, because from like the epic shootouts and that real funny scene where they're tripping on peyote, going for the spirit world, and then of course with the relations between Billy and the rest of the gang, to where when Tunstall died, Billy just got cocky and just started leading the charge, and to where originally Dick, when Tunstall was alive, Dick Brewer, played by Estevez's brother Charlie Sheen, was the real leader of the gang until Buckshot Roberts kills him. Sorry for the spoiler. And that was one epic shootout, kind of like one where they're, because in this movie, when the regulars were actually became lawmen who took badges to go after Murphy's boys, taking out a traitor in the mist too. I mean, just talking about a brutal kill that was. Like, kind of like right at the excuse me, right at one part where they had to, he was at the saloon and Billy shoots Henry Hill, another outlaw, just for the fly, points the gun for the fly of his pants, and then shoots the guy, and it starts off with a shootout. Woof! And I'm one of the epic badassery scenes. And of course, in another hideout where Dick gets carried, and then one kind of flaw was how they underused yet how they talked about was the character named of John Candy, who never really showed till like right at the end, but was always a name because he was the character always made Charlie crap his pants. And woof. Yeah, had a good, Billy and Charlie had like an excellent development again movie where he's like, you said down, you ain't no regulator yet. And then no funny scene where Billy fires some warning shots at the regulators in celebration of the New Year's party, where Doc meets Sue Young, who was technically a slave of Murphy, who basically just held her hostage the whole movie. And they always had like excellent chemistry. Though flaw-wise, I'm surprised she didn't appear in any form in a sequel, or was even mentioned. But chill to the next episode there. And of course, a lot of some epic shootouts, like how this was excellent direction by Christopher Kane. Also, I mentioned one scene in that final shootout was between that McSween place, was when they had going out with Kenny and his boys, and then the cavalry bought off by Murphy. And oof, man, Jack Palance always played excellent villains, from the bad guy in Shane to Kyle Grissom and Batman, Tango and Cash, and as Murphy in this movie. And of course, you gotta give it to old Emilio Estevez's Billy the Kid, because of all the westerns and adaptations and such, he was actually the most perfect candidate ever to be Billy the Kid. I mean, best in cinema history. Can't one up him on that one. Which I gotta say, along with Kiefer Sutherland, I gotta say Doc Scarlett's always been my favorite Sutherland role. And Terry O'Quinn always knocked it out of the park in movies like Young Guns, Tombstone, and American Outlaws, along with his excellent portrayal as Joe White in the Hawaii Five-0 series. But overall, I gotta give Young Guns at least a 4 out of 5. I mean, great character development, a whole lot of epic action. I mean, like the one part where he's Billy keeps taunting this Wild Bill Hickok looking outlaw gunslinger in the saloon, and then another part I should also mention, among when he mentioned the cavalry soldiers, Randy Travis, the country singer, actually had a cameo in this uncredited cameo where he operated the Gatling gun. And we'll talk about how Murphy got his. You're talking about that's about for a cinematic use of a practically long distance for a pistol to make a near perfect headshot. I mean, John Wick couldn't even one up that one. But overall, I give Young Guns 1 a 4 out of 5. Alright, y'all. Peace out. Young Guns 2 is on the way.